Cerberus just spikes so quickly up that DPS chart at 3-star with those items, and the fact she's being cloned, it's just so crazy. So hard for opponents to deal with. G'day, Josh here with another Chess Rush build video. This is a really fun one. You see that I start off with a couple of cyborgs in the first shot. That's not where this build goes at all, but they are very strong early. This ends up being a 6 Punisher build, and it's really I love Punishers in the current meta. You need to get a little bit lucky to win some games depending on the matchups. A really strong Goblin Dragon build or a really strong Sorcerer build will often beat a Punisher build in the current meta, but Punishers can beat most other builds. And you can see there that I get pretty lucky this third round. I've now got 3 Punishers on the board along with my 2 Cyborgs. Let's jump into the first PvP battle. A couple of enemy Nightingales, but we have a 2-star and they don't. Do we end up getting the initial win? It's always nice to start the first PvP round with a win, and yes, we do start off very well there. Now this build does use featured heroes. It uses Cerberus, one of the best heroes in the current meta. It also uses the Lotus Prince, but that's only if you can find him. Sometimes you can cheat this 6 Punisher build by using the Bishop's Mitre item, which is an upgrade from the health. I'm forgetting what the item's called. I don't think I actually get any in this game, but it gives you extra health essentially. Upgrading that item, you can add the Punisher class to a hero, so you can also get to 6 Punishers using that item as opposed to having to find the Lotus Prince legendary hero. And you can see there that I'm also collecting demons. So what I want to do is ideally find that Bishop's Mitre and make Cerberus a Punisher and run it with demons so that she's also doing splash damage as a Punisher, which is insane. Unfortunately, I don't believe this build I end up finding the Bishop's Mitre, so it's not as powerful as it could be. There is a little bit of RNG in terms of items, and in this particular build, I don't get the best items, but I still get the best outcome. I still get the game win, and it's still a very fun build, and you'll see just how fun at the end of the game as we get ourselves another early round win. It's a little bit closer this time around, but we do get the job done. We jump through to round 6. Let's go straight into the battle. Still running 3 Punishers, and oops, round 7 is what I meant to. Next PvP round. I think we skipped the round 5 one, but that's all right. So now I've currently got 4 Punishers, 2 Demons, 2 Angels. The build is coming together very nicely. There's a slight replay bug there in that there's some heroes in the bottom right that aren't meant to be there. The build is coming together nicely. That splash damage coming out of Lucifer is fantastic, and we do end up remaining undefeated. Having those 2-star Punishers and Demons at this stage, round 7, is very strong. And you can see that there's our current build. We are doing very well in terms of value. I am spinning a little bit at level 6 just to 2-star some stuff. So I'm a little bit behind a few players in terms of levels, but I'm staying within reach. Let's go through to the round 8 battle now. This build has a lot of 2-stars on the other side of the board, including that 2-star Nightingale, who is always very strong, especially since her recent nerf. She now does have mana, and when that fills up, she can subtract or take mana away from multiple enemies, not just the one that she's dealing damage to directly. And that does end up meaning that we take our first loss, unfortunately, but obviously we're still doing very well on 54 HP at this stage of the game. Round 9, no significant changes to the board, although we have added another demon. Haven't quite got to 4 demons just yet. I don't believe, yeah, no Cerberus. She's the missing piece at this stage. Now it's worth noting that even without the Bishop's Mitre to add the Punisher class, this is a level 9 build. You don't need to get to level 10. Getting to level 10, if you get there, is always fantastic. It gives you an extra flex spot to run another hero, another Cerberus, even if you have enough of them. And we've taken another loss there, unfortunately. Let's jump through to round 11. No real changes in terms of the composition of the heroes on my board at this stage. Unfortunately, it was a slightly rough mid-game in this particular build, taking a few losses in a row, and Still struggling to find that Cerberus, who of course is the key piece. But we do get ourselves another round win, which is fantastic. Here's a look at some of the other builds that we're up against at this stage. It's a pretty wide variety. We've got Goblins, we've got other Punisher builds, Assassins, Sorcerers. So I always like lobbies that have a wide variety. It means that there might be a matchup that's bad for you, but it just makes it a little bit more interesting and there's less competition for the pieces you're looking for. Round 12 battle. What do we have? This is up against another Punisher build, I believe. I can see that 2-star Nightingale there. There's definitely a Lancelot on his side of the board as well. But our Lucifer is doing a significant chunk of damage and we get ourselves another handy win there. Quick look at what our items are at this stage. So, see that I've got a single longsword on my Nether Prince, and then everything else, got an upgraded summoning gem, an upgraded critical greatsword, and a cloak. So, not great items just yet, but hey, not the worst in the world either. And given the heroes that I've got, I end up slightly adjusting my positioning here. I don't have too many ranged heroes. A lot of them are melee heroes, so I do end up just running a solid front line like that. Let's have a look at how we do in the round 13 battle against a build that is also running Lucifer. They already have a 2-star Misfortune as well, which is very good for them. I don't end up running Undead in this build. And unfortunately we do go down to this build, but we're still sitting top 4. How do we do against a top player? Not going to get the win. That's a nice item there, the Frostbone.
Let them experience.
Alright, so let's jump through now to round 14. This player has a 2-star Marsh Lord in that back line, also running Dr. Molly, who gets her robot ability off pretty quickly, and the other Prince fires off. But unfortunately, it's not going to be enough against these summons, and once again, we do take ourselves another loss here. Really need to find that Cerberus to get our 4 demons on the board, which will improve the splash damage for all of our demons, but also just add a very, very strong hero to the board. And that takes us down to below half health, which is always a little bit concerning in a turbo game. Here we go, look at that. Round 16, we've found our Cerberus. We've now got essentially the full build, 4 Punisher, 4 Demon, 2 Angels, and I make a mistake here and remove, I think I end up, might not be this round, it might be, there's one round where I accidentally give the Warlock item to the one Warlock I've already got, which obviously cost me Warlock for that round. But anyway, where you want to go with this build is to 6 Punishers if you find Nether Prince, essentially. I'm running Michael just as one of the, I've got the room on the board. She is another Angel. It's not a 4 Angel build. You could take it in that direction if you did find the right pieces though. And how do we do, now that we have Cerberus on the board, now that we have 4 demons all doing that delicious splash damage, and we do very, very well. Of course, I've got the 2-star Lucifers out on the board, which is why they are so high up there on the DPS chart. And things are looking a little bit better now. In terms of items, I've now been able to upgrade an Icicle Bow, so I do have the ability to freeze heroes in the middle of a battle. But everything else is pretty much the same. And now I'm able to run a second Cerberus on the board as well. Let's jump into the round 17 battle. What does it have for us? You see so much splash damage, so many frozen heroes. It's fantastic. Cerberus is just chilling back there, not doing much. I think that might be the replay bug again. Because I think yeah, you can see that I've actually upgraded Cerberus. She's a 2-star now. That will just come back there to fix that replay issue. And we've managed to stabilize at 29 health. We're down to the top 6 players. Not quite guaranteed positive points yet, but we are very close. Round 18. Still looking for that Nether Prince. Looking to 3-star Lucifer if I can as well. And of course, collecting as many Cerberuses as I can. Including that one there, which I'll be able to put on the board as I have a little bit of space at level 9. And now that I've got 2 Cerberuses on the board, look at that. 2 of my heroes get frozen from the get-go, but our Cerberus is doing a ton of freezing of her own with that splash damage out of the 4 demons. Unfortunately though, it's not going to be enough. That's a narrow loss there at round 18, and that puts us down to 21 health. It would have to be a bad loss to eliminate us at this stage. And we start We've now found Dimension Walker too. Let's fix that issue. So we've now got our 5th Punisher, but he's one of the key Punishers, obviously, because of how much damage he does in a Punisher build. He is only a 1-star though, so he's not quite doing as much as my Cerberus and as my Lucifers. And we do get another solid win there. That actually moves us up into 3rd position. Still 6 opponents remaining. Let's move into round 21. What have we done with items? I've got a blacksmith tool there, so I can upgrade something. What do I end up upgrading here? As I'm continuing to upgrade the board, there is now a 2-star Dimension Walker, which is fantastic. That's really big. What do I do with the blacksmith tool? I can't remember. I'm readjusting some items here. Oh, I think I end up, yes, I do. I grab the Phantom Cloak so that I can actually clone Cerberus with her attack items off the get-go. This is awesome. This might be the round where I accidentally give... Yeah, I do. So I lose Warlock for this round. That was a slight misplay. Don't give a Warlock item to a Warlock. That ain't gonna work. And I think it actually cost me this battle as well. Yeah, I lose this one pretty significantly. Thankfully, I stay alive, but it does. That mistake takes me down to 3 health. So I cannot afford any more losses at this stage. That was really, really rough. Now, what builds are we now facing? We've got Goblin Hunter build, Goblin Assassin, Human Rider Sorcerer build. Don't see Riders too much in the current meta. And an Assassin build up top there as well. I have the lowest value, which is never ideal. Oh, here we go. This is nice. I find my 6th Punisher. Now I have the full Punisher comp online. I found that Lotus Prince. Now just looking to 3-star that Cerberus. Because cloning a 3-star Cerberus with these attack items is incredibly strong, especially in a build like this. The only downside is I wasn't able to get a HP gem to add the Punisher class to Cerberus. That would have been even more broken. But as it is, this is very, very nice. So freezing enemy heroes with my Cerberus. You see that happening down the bottom. You see it happening up the top right corner. There's the Lotus Prince doing his ability. And things are looking a lot better now. 23k damage coming out of Cerberus just like that. I find myself another Demon the Executioner, another Legendary, which is fantastic. And now we're guaranteed top 4. Round 23, what does it have for us? I don't replace any of the demons on the board, of course, because they are all 2 stars. Executioner is just a 1-star at this stage. 3-star Cerberus, though, she is so, so strong. She's been cloned as well. And look at how quickly we win that one. Bang. Top 3 just like that. How do we do against the #1 player? We deal him 12 damage. So this is a very close game. 8 health to 6 health to 3 health. The builds that we're running up against are both assassin builds. But we've got a very, very solid build with an incredibly stacked Cerberus. One of the most broken heroes in the game, especially with some of these items. And how do we do? Round 24. Is this the final round? Does the game wrap up here? Cerberus just spikes so quickly up that DPS chart at 3-star with those items. And the fact she's being cloned, it's just so crazy. So hard for opponents to deal with. They just need to freeze her, but that's not always the case. And we win on our board. And it's not quite the final round, so we do get another creep round. Let's jump into round 26. What do we get in terms of items? That was the most unlucky round 25 creep round I've ever had. We only got a blacksmith tool from it. There's like 6 or 7 creeps on the board in round 25 and we got 1 item. So I end up upgrading what? I think it was that upgrade. Yeah, I think that's the upgrade. So he will now target the lowest enemy, which helps kill them as quickly as possible. My opponent does, of course, have a 3-star Head Reaper and a 2-star Void Doom, which is kind of scary. Look at the value differential. But the composition of my build with that 3-star Cerberus is just a little bit too strong. And we do end up wrapping this game up fairly quickly. Once it's just the Head Reaper left on his side of the board, there's not too much he can do against the sheer number of heroes I have alive. And that's a pretty comprehensive win in the end. 21 damage to wrap that one up. That is a very, very fun build. I love experimenting with Punisher builds. And that might be the most fun that I've had with one yet. And it wasn't even, as I said, it could have been stronger. If we found the HP gem and upgraded that to give Cerberus the Punisher class, she would have been doing even more damage. So it's definitely got more potential than we saw in that build. I wasn't even able to 2-star my Lotus Prince, and that would have also given me the ability to run something else in that 10th spot as well. Very, very strong build. Let me know what your favorite Punisher build is in the comments down below. Give the video a thumbs up if you liked it. Thank you so much for checking out this video. Make sure to sub to the channel if you haven't already. That helps my channel grow. And until next time, I'll see you later.